Ian Rapoport has offered some sizable updates on where things sit with the Dallas Cowboys and head coach Mike McCarthy in a pair of appearances on NFL Network and 105.3 The Fan earlier today. Among the key points that we'll break down here in depth on today's show, he does think Mike McCarthy returns as the Cowboys head coach. The Bears' denial of the interview request is actually not a factor or an indication of the Cowboys' plans. The potential negotiation going on, McCarthy's leverage, and did answer some questions on some potential replacements for McCarthy if the Cowboys move on / they don't get a deal done. We will keep you covered on all the latest going on around McCarthy and the Cowboys. Help us get to 205,500 subscribers here on the Cowboys Report. We're 247 away. Constant updates all offseason long for you on the Dallas Cowboys. Hit that sub button right now. The big note from NFL Network, his appearance there, from Rapoport on McCarthy, says there's mutual interest in McCarthy returning to Dallas as head coach. They are not there yet. The two sides still need to work out a deal. Still need to figure out what is a mutually beneficial way to bring McCarthy back to Dallas. Some of that involves contract terms, some of that involves years. No surprise there. This very much aligns with the negotiating theory that the Cowboys do want to bring back Mike McCarthy, but it's on certain deals and terms and everything on that front. Based on what Ian Rapoport has reported, it sounds like the Cowboys do want Mike McCarthy back as their head coach, with buts, with caveats, with conditions and terms that have to be negotiated, that they are not in complete alignment of a no matter what, McCarthy's back as the Cowboys head coach. And frankly, I don't care for this. I don't like this approach, this mindset. It has been 5 years that the Dallas Cowboys have had Mike McCarthy as their head coach. They should know. They should know what they want to do. And frankly, I think it is an opposite end of the spectrum approach. Two options. Shouldn't be in between stuff. Either Mike McCarthy is your guy, and at that point, just give him what he wants. He's your guy. You think he is the best coach, bar none, to lead this team. Or you don't believe that, in which case it's time to move on. It shouldn't be this half-measure stuff that I don't think works, that I don't think benefit your organization. You should know, one way or the other, is Mike McCarthy your guy? If he is, get it done. It should have been done already. If he's not, move on. Start your search. Go find somebody else. You can try to get an upgrade if you don't believe he's the right guy to win you a Super Bowl. It just feels like the Cowboys have lowered their bar for what's acceptable and are trying to come up with ways to justify it while also being cheap, and I just don't like it at all. So what do you think? Are the Cowboys handling the Mike McCarthy drama properly? It is the pinned comment on today's show, so if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Y for yes, N for no. Now, Rap also provided, I think, some noteworthy insight into the whole Bears interview request thing. Rapoport said there was zero chance the Cowboys were ever going to grant McCarthy's interview with the Chicago Bears. Here's what Rap said. I knew there was zero chance. It's an exclusive negotiating window. I think the Cowboys take these things seriously. I don't think they're going to use all of it, but I think they're going to use a pretty good portion of it. The denial was always going to happen. They're not going to give up that exclusive negotiating window. So to an extent, maybe this wasn't the big tell that I thought it was of, hey, they denied McCarthy's request. That means they're going to bring him back. It kind of still sounds like they're working through this, which, again, how is it taking you this long? Now, Rap does think McCarthy returns. He said to me, hearing from the comments from both sides, from the fact the Cowboys going to have conversations with him, I believe he's back as well. But how that happens is an interesting thing. Now, again, I don't like this approach. I think it's a bad process. Can't always control your results. To borrow cliches, control what you can control. Control the controllables. Have a good process. It's not the Cowboys' MO, and it bothers me on a consistent basis. Now, Rap addressed three things in terms of what is being negotiated here. Number one is the length of the contract. He made the comment the Cowboys might want 1 year or 2 years, which is stupid because, again, you go all or nothing. They're not going to get that. Maybe the middle ground is 3 or 4. The amount of money. There's no salary cap on coaches, and yet the front office continues to make comments about incentive-based deals, which is straight up not how this works. It's not how NFL coaches do business. It's frankly a joke to even suggest it. It just comes off as being very, very cheap. Now, Rapoport did not have an answer on if he thinks the two sides are negotiating potential play calling dues. That's been speculated pretty heavily. And it just, again, comes off as maybe there are conditions being worked on and they're in the negotiating phase. And it's all very improperly handled as far as I'm concerned. More to come from Rap. Again, there's a lot going on from his comments today. But today's show is sponsored by Fume. We all have bad habits. We certainly know how hard it can be to kick those bad habits. That's where Fume comes in. It's not about quitting. It's about finding a better alternative. Fume has created an innovative flavored air device that's perfect for those moments when you want to break away from bad habits and still have something enjoyable to reach for. Their award-winning flavored air device draws flavors to your mouth, not your lungs. It's free from nicotine or vapor, and it is safe to use anywhere. It's an awesome fidget tool with magnets and clicks that help calm anxiety. Fume is not a vape, and it can be used as an alternative to vaping or quitting vaping. If vapor was a soda, think of Fume as more of an herbal tea. Stopping a bad habit by going cold turkey is actually pretty hard on your brain. Fume works by replacing your hand-to-mouth fixation, calming nervous tension through fidgeting, and distracting you from your bad habit with delicious flavor. Fume has already helped over 300,000 people build better habits. Try Fume today, and if you order the Journey Pack now using code CHATSPORTS, you'll get a free Fume topper, an awesome accessory to level up your experience. Go to tryfume.com/chatsports or scan the QR code on screen. The link will also be in the comments section and the description of today's show. It's tryfume.com/chatsports. All right, back to Rapoport here. He said that if McCarthy was a true free agent this head coaching cycle, if he had been fired last year, as the hypothetical McCarthy mentioned, and he was available to everybody and all teams, he thinks Mike would get hired this cycle, which I don't actually disagree with. The whole conversation here is not about whether McCarthy is a bad head coach. I think he gets at times maybe an overly critical rap. It's whether he's good enough in Dallas. But I think the answer to that question is no. I don't think he is good enough for Dallas. There are also bigger issues in Dallas. I also think that he's better than some of the coaches that are going to get hired. Probably not all of them, which is what matters to me. But I think he'll be better than some of the candidates that ended up getting hired. I look at a place like the Jets. I mean, the Jets are interviewing Rex Ryan, and you can't tell me McCarthy's a worse coach than Rex Ryan. I will never believe that. I don't think the Jets hire Rex Ryan. I don't know who they're going to get because that's kind of a dicey job right now. The Jags are apparently going to keep Trent Baalke. It's all a lot of weird stuff going on. But I don't want to make this – obviously, I think it's pretty clear by now I don't want to bring Mike McCarthy back. It's not that I hate the guy or despise him or think he's a bottom 5 head coach. I don't think that. I just have a higher bar. And I don't believe in settling in just writing out the comfort of what the Cowboys have apparently adopted as of late. You know, McCarthy's got more losing seasons than Jason Garrett did in his entire tenure. We all wanted Garrett gone. We were right to want Garrett gone. I think Mike's better. It's not good enough, though. Now, where would you rank McCarthy among NFL head coaches? I want honest answers here. Because I think if you want to win a Super Bowl, you didn't have a top 10 guy. I don't think Mike's top 10. Let me know in the comments where you would rank him in today's show. Now, Rap did answer some questions from the 105 through the fan crew about replacing Mike McCarthy, who he thinks could end up being a candidate. And Rap had issues answering that, basically. Saying, that's one of the problems in why he thinks Mike ends up returning. A lot of people are going to want to be the Cowboys head coach. But it's a lot. You got to deal with Jerry. You get to be the most famous head coach in the NFL. You get to work with a really good roster. But it's a different job. It's a lot. Finding a Cowboys coach is really, really hard. Which is why, in the end, I think they stick to what they have and what they know. Now, he did mention 3 potential names. And if they do move on from Mike, it'll be a much wider actual list of potential candidates. And I would assume more guys end up emerging. He mentioned Mike Vrabel, thinking that could be a strong fit. We'll see if the Patriots move as quickly as they seem to be on that front. He mentioned Cliff Kingsbury, which I don't like because I've seen him fail as a head coach previously. He also mentioned Kellen Moore. If we get to this, we get to this. I would not be surprised if the Cowboys go with someone with experience or someone that they know. And Vrabel and Kellen and Cliff all fit that mold. I think you might have to work on some of the relationship stuff from Kellen Moore's side. I don't think he loved the way things ended with the Mike McCarthy era. I also think you can compare the entirety of the Kellen offense and the McCarthy offense, and I think Kellen's was better. But maybe that's not the answer you want either, which is totally fine. That's not the answer I'd go with either, frankly. Who do you want as the Cowboys head coach in 2025? McCarthy's a valid answer here. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. I bet we'll get a lot of Ben Johnson. That's the right answer. I do think that. That is the guy I want to take a risk. I want to try something different. I would risk it on Ben Johnson. Rapp didn't think that was a great fit, and I wouldn't get my hopes up for it either. In the end, I think the lasting comment from Rapoport should be this quote. I believe at the end of the day, Mike McCarthy will be the Cowboys head coach. That's I believe, not I know, not it's done, but that's the way it's maybe leaning towards and trending to. With how we are on Wednesday, January 8th, and we don't actually know the answer yet is very frustrating to me, but that is what the vibe currently sounds like. Again, a big thank you to Fume for sponsoring today's video. Scan the QR code and use code CHATSPORTS to get your free Fume topper when you order your Journey Pack today.